Alright guys, UnoPro here. Today we are going to be doing a gauntlet. It's been a while since I've done a gauntlet run on YouTube, and I don't play a ton of gauntlet, but I feel fairly confident. And we actually have what I would say is the three best factions. You could almost argue that all of these are the best. I really like Magma. I know Lyonar's really good, but I haven't had as much personal success with it, and I know Vaynar's really good as well. I've had a lot of success with that. Yeah, let's try Lyonar. Alright, definitely getting Iron Cliffs. I've definitely done really well with Magma though. I think that's probably what I've done best with. Let's just get the Aether Master. It never really hurts to have 2 drops. Okay, so I'm just getting the really good value ones. I'm not going to go over it too much. This is an interesting decision. I think Healing Mystic's better. Let's get Divine Bond. Let's get a finisher. Nah, let's get Silverguard Knight. We can just play it for value. You don't need to be hasty. Alright, so this is looking a lot like a constructed deck so far. I like Suntide Maiden. Good 4-drop, good stats. The rest are a bit iffy. Not a lot of removal at the moment. This is hardly removal. I think I'm actually going to take that. A lot of the time in Gauntlet, like players just aren't emptying their hands out. They'll have like 5 cards in hand at the end of the turn because a lot of the time you can only play 1 minion. And then just having a 0 mana spell is not the end of the world. This one is a bit... let's try White Widow. I think it's the best card out of them all. Can get some good ongoing value. Definitely Holy Immolation, that's awesome. Yeah, I can take another Ironcliff. Let's grab a Dispel. Dispel's very important in Gauntlet. Very, very important. Pulse of Beast is pretty good. Another Wingblade, nice, I like that. We are a little bit low on removal. We could take Magnetize for a bit of fun, but that's more if you're running the really big fatties. Let's just take the Windrunner. Windrunner is actually decent in Gauntlet. We only have 1 heal. I don't really like either of these. Let's just take this just for a late game threat. It's not very good, but Dispel or the... I think we can find 2 drops well enough. I think I just want Dispel. One more Dispel, that's fine. It's very good in Gauntlet. Suntide Maiden. So like a Martyrdom or something good, but just a bit of removal is fine, so we'll take the Lasting Judgment. Wings of Paradise, pretty easy. Maybe I should wait a little bit longer so some of you guys who don't know the cards can read them more. Let's just take a 2-drop here. We already have enough to spell, without a doubt. I think I just want Lasting Judgment. Dreamgaze is a very good minion. The Grailmaster is a good late game threat. Well, we don't really have a deck that can, punish with Grailmaster, so let's grab the Dreamgazer. Super just great value. And healing is not obviously, it's a bit like Arena in Hearthstone where healing isn't as important. It's still more important in Duels, but it's fine to take that bit of damage. Holy Immolation, we're grabbing that card every time. No Martyrdoms, which is a bit annoying. Okay, we've got the 2. I think I'll take the Arclight Sentinel. I really like a Martyrdom, but... Alright, let's take this then. Alright, so no more we didn't get another Divine Bond chance to take that, or any Martyrdoms. So, I'm not sure, I don't have a ton of experience with Lyonar. I've always preferred Magma. But what it tells me is, with no Tempest, no Martyrdom, we're gonna have to, play for board control. We can't be like, oh, you know, screw it, let's just go face. We have to be disciplined. We have to go for ball control the whole game. But if we have ball control, we're good at keeping it. We're good at developing more threats. Let's give this guy a good look. There we go. So yeah, I might do this all in one time. I'm not sure when the gauntlet closes, because it doesn't say when it's going to close. But hopefully we'll get it all done in one video, otherwise it might have to be you know, in a couple days. I don't really want to play this on here. I don't really care if it... Well... Playing it here, what does it die to that it doesn't normally die to? Spectral Blade. Unlikely, it's an epic. And she didn't equip anything. Demonic Lure, it dies to anyway. We'll play it here so we can go for a turn 2 Iron Cliff. Because there's not a lot extra it dies to. Any rush minion, it'll already kill it. Something like Blood Tier Alchemist, I guess, but I think it's worth a risk. Okay, Blood Sorrow. Alright, so, you know, maybe it was a little bit unfortunate that we played it that way, but I think it was perfectly fine. So hopefully we can do something involving a mana tile. Not really worth it, is it? Okay, so I'm happy to start trading here. We don't really have, you know, much burst finishes. We don't really have a ton of healing either. I think just the 1 Emerald and the 1 Mystic. But, you know, we kind of need to chip away if we don't have a Divine Bond finisher to rely on. Because, you know, Iron Cliffs are good, but they still only do 3 damage a turn. That's fine. Next turn we have the opportunity to Iron Cliff. Okay. What do I want to get rid of? Okay, so I'm actually going to trade in both this way, so this can won't die to a general hit. Just centralize myself a little bit. Okay. So this is a very nice start. This is really hard for a Abyssinian to deal with, especially if it doesn't have a demonic lure. Okay, so you got a bit of value there. So we'll probably just use Lasting Judgment, play Ironcliff, I'm imagining. Let's get rid of this. So we'll play this here. And you know, we have a beam shock, something we can't really deal with very easily. This card is actually pretty decent. I've seen, I think his name's S Rules, playing like an aggro Lyonar deck with this card, and it's pretty interesting. Okay. Okay, so we can play these three. So actually, let's get rid of this. Ooh, that's tempting. I mean, I could have played it there, Silver Guy Knight there, and moved, but then, well, I could have played 2-drop there and moved Silver Guy Knight. Might have been better. I'm tempted to Holy Immolation. I don't think I need to though. If he wants to trade, that's fine. If he wants to take another 2 damage. Save the Holy Immolation for, you know, clearing the board. So yeah, the Beam Shock should be pretty decent on the turn we want to finish him, where he can stand around him by minions, and then, you know, either stun one of his big minions, which is a massive tempo gain, or to stun his general so he can't run away. Okay, so we have 8, 9, 13 damage. So we just need to be able to hit them with everything, which we can do by going here, here, here. Okay, so he doesn't, not lethal quite yet, but pretty close. So let's get rid of this, because I probably want to play this and this instead. There's no need to play it there. And we'll probably stun the mini Jaxie maybe. Yeah. Let's not attack with our general, just in case we die to something absurd. Could we die? No. The most you can do is Assassin, Shadow Reflection, double Void Pulse, which is 13. Okay, we would die. but that's very, very unlikely in Gauntlet. Okay, that's good for him. Okay. It's not too bad. We are getting a little bit low now. Let's get rid of this. I don't feel like it does that much. So if I go here, play Wings of Paradise, that gives me 10 mana. So I can do everything. This won't get the heal from my general, which sucks. But you know, we can maybe do that next turn or something. Okay. And he can't really rush me with a minion or anything, so unless he has a demonic law. So we're pretty safe from dying. You gotta be sure when you're in a really good position. You want to make sure that you're not going to die randomly for no reason if you could have prevented it. Okay. So we just attack. This is actually just a lethal on board. Alright. Okay, so not a bad first game. I think we've got a fairly strong deck, but there's definitely some clear weaknesses. Oh, I have no idea what this is for, but I'm not going to complain about 300 gold. Alright, cool. So yeah, we don't have good single target removal. We have Lasting Judgment for small stuff, and you know, Holy Immolation can help a little bit, but no martyrdoms. We're mainly relying on Dispel, so we need to keep up on board. Let's get rid of all three of these. So positioning wise against Vitruvian. So just letting you guys know, you actually can replace an additional card after you play the Aether Master. So there's no reason not to do it first still. Kinda want to keep these both, so I make sure I have a play if he kills it and if he doesn't kill it. Maybe I'd rather just go 2-drop anyway, so let's just get rid of this. We want to try and cycle our deck heaps, just so we can, you know, get a good start. Okay. Alright, let's get rid of this. So a 2-drop would be nice. Oh, you got the combo though. Let's get rid of Repulsive Beast. Alright. So it's a little bit awkward that we can't play another minion and do this. But that needs to die. So hopefully he doesn't have anything to deal damage to this. Then we can maybe pull off White Widow double replace. That would be pretty sweet to do. In Gauntlet, though we might still end up going for an Ironcliff, just because Ironcliff is an insane card. Do we go for the White Widow play? We do need to get a bit lucky for it to it hits twice. I think we should go for it. Let's get rid of one of these. Ah, we didn't get it. Let's keep our middle position. Alright, so a little bit unfortunate, but I mean, we were going for, like, it would have been nice to hit him with at least one. But we have, you know, permanent value on the board now. These are going to keep generating lots of value. Okay. That's a bit annoying. We do have... We've almost got a bit of a replace deck going on here. Alright, should I dispel first? Well... No, let's replace first. Oh, hitting the face again. Okay, 7. So if we use like Holy Immolation, we can... I think maybe just dispel it. We'll have to move our Aether Master. Let's just get it out of the way. And let's play this here, so that his general can't kill my Aether Master. And we're kind of just ignoring this golem for the time being. It's a bit risky, but we'll eventually clean it up with a Holy Immolation or something. This board is not easy for him to deal with. It's a bit awkward, depending on what he has. Oh, Bone Swarm, okay. So he'll kill our Aether Master, but our White Widow will most likely live. It's pretty hard to come up with a way he kills it. Unless like Saber Swine First Wish. But yeah, White Widow's been doing pretty good for us. It hasn't really been hitting in very good spots though. Alright, we really do need a minion, a place where we can put this in here or something. Alright. Alright, I think the play will be come here, Holy Immolation, hit Holy Immolation. So we'll clear that out. Then we can Lasting Judgment this. And we can just hit him in the face. And I don't really see a need to Beam Shock him now. You want to save this, you know, for a bigger minion. Okay, Entropic Decay. Doesn't really matter too much. We got value out of it, and it might, you know, save us from a... Alright. Might save us from getting our Iron Cliff done, like the same thing. So we can do... We can put him to 2, right? Or we can go Iron Cliff. Let's do Iron Cliff, heal ourselves, and then stun his frenzy. So just trying to cut off all avenues, because we definitely want to try and end it next turn now that we have the Holy Immolation in hand. and hopefully he doesn't have a second entropic decay. Alright, so that will be game. So double Holy Immolation in the deck is absolutely massive. Definitely very lucky to get that, and kind of makes up for, you know, missing out on Martyrdoms and Tempest. Tempest not as important now, that only does 2 damage. You don't rely on it to come back on the board now anyway. It's more about, you know, just making good trades rather than being a, you know, one button clear the board. I'm going to keep both of these. If he plays a minion worth Lasting Judgment, I can do this too, and if not, I can just go for Wings of Paradise. Wings of Paradise is a card I'm actually a pretty big fan of. I don't really run it in any of my decks now, but I think it has a lot of potential in Vet and Songhai. Lately I haven't really been impressed with Gorehorn, and I feel like this in an aggro Songhai, like a really aggro Songhai, it just does the similar job. 5 damage, but you don't need a card with it. I'm going to play this here. There's no point playing it here because Tiger or something still gets it, and we want to be a little bit closer in case it gets dispelled. Well, actually, this is better against Dispel, so we will do that here. I want to keep both of these because I want to have the option of playing, you know, a 2-mana card. Plus, I might also need a Lasting Judgment. Interesting. He... Okay. That's actually not too bad. Like, he's basically just giving... He's using his minions just for face damage at that point, so... Let's play this here, move up there. I don't mind taking a bit of damage with my general. Hopefully he doesn't have a lot of bursts in his deck, but we'll take it. You know, we can take it to about 15-ish, and then we need to be a bit safer with it. But I would rather go for value. And you know, players should be, and they will be, hesitant to go all-out face against a Lyonar when they haven't already seen a lot of healing, because you do expect Lyonars to have healing, even in Gauntlet. Interesting that he's running away. What has he got here? Okay. I don't really feel like he needed to do that. I feel like he could have just played it and moved forward. What should we play to get Lasting Judgment? Oh, the snipes! Man, that worked out well. I was just hoping to just, you know, Lasting Judgment it. That was pretty nice. My value senses are tingling. Alright. And we'll kill ourselves, just in case. No need to hit with the general, I think that's the only way we really lose. And let's just keep this at range. Alright, off to a very nice start once again. I think the real test of this deck will be versing, you know, other Lyonars, other Magmars, as it normally is in Gauntlet, as well as Lyonar. You know, versing the big factions, because that's when you're versing, you know, the big minions, which is what I've been saying this deck isn't as good at dealing with. So it could be a bit annoying if he has Grasp of Agony here, but it's not the end of the world, because he'll need something else to kill it as well. Okay, that's fine. Okay. What do we want to replace? Let's get rid of this. Man, these snipes. Well, that one didn't actually matter because we could just hit it. There is the same thing, but you know, it's in good form nonetheless. Alright, so originally I was planning on doing something like this and this. But let's just get both minions out on the board, I think. Let's move this one step closer so we can, and I'm happy to start chipping away now. Move this one step closer, give us the option of moving in and hitting him for a finishing blow. Alright. We'll trade it in here. Well, we should replace. No, we want to replace second because we want to get the damage on the face anyway. So, we'll trade in here. I'm going to Holy Immolation. Get rid of the Golem. And we have lethal. Well, we have lethal anyway. Yeah. Give this a lasting. Wait, let me think. How? Did I stuff this up maybe? No, I didn't. Okay. Probably could have planned that out a little bit cleaner, but you know, that was a one situation no matter what. Alright, so off to a good start. But I don't really feel like we've been tested yet. I'm not sure how we're going to go against other Lyonars, other Magmars. Well, not other Magmars, but it's a similar playstyle, you know. Try and get the good removal, decent healing, and then big minions. That'll be a bit of a test, I think. But we have a lot of Dispel, and a lot of the Magmar fatties are really Dispel open, like with the Grow stuff and Rebirth. It's all a bit weaker to that. But their removal is probably, their single target removal is definitely better. Alright, so speaking of the devil, here's Magmar. Still a very, very good Gauntlet class, even though it's not as strong in Constructed anymore. Probably, I would probably say the second worst compared to Abyssian at last. But there's still a lot of power within the faction. And I know people are definitely working on builds. Vitruvian lists might start to pop up and become more prevalent. It's hard to do because you really need like a ranged silence in this meta for Vitruvian. Alright, let's get rid of Holy Immolation. Alright, so no second 2-drop, so we'll just go with the 3-drop, trying to play as on curve as possible. And we're not going to let him trade in there. Windrunner is not a minion you want to let your opponent just get an easy kill on. Let's get rid of the White Widow because it's the one I definitely don't want to play this turn. Okay, we'll just deny that mana tile. We'll move up here. Yeah, we can get a lot of value from that this game, so we're going to keep it safe. And kill that. You don't want to let them have the range minion. Ironcliff is a little bit... It's very weak to natural selection and egg morph at times, so we'll try to play around that if we can. That might involve, you know, playing it with a healing mystic, or playing it out of range, which I'm not a big fan of. But you know, there's situations where if the general's already provoked and then you play it one square away, at least you can get one hit out of it, something like that. Okay. Does he have a removal as well? Natural selection? Okay. That might be cause to play a natural selection now. I want to have this play option. Alright, let's just do this. And hope he doesn't have an egg morph or natural selection again. If he does, then you know we might have to do a healing mystic, a whole immolation play. So we have a way to get back on the board at least. We have lots of options. Alright, so there's an egg morph. Not the end of the world. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Alright, so what I can do here is I can play White Widow, replace a card. If it hits, I can just trade and play Healing Mystic. If it misses, I can just play Lasting Judgment and trade. So let's play White Widow. Let's play it safe. And let's replace the Dispel. Ah. Alright. A little bit unlucky there. Oh, I should have definitely attacked first. That was a big mistake. Whoopsies. You know, so often you use the card to kill a minion that you forget that it actually gives attack. Hopefully that doesn't come back to hurt us too much. That was, yeah, a bit sloppy there. Mercantor is definitely the card on my mind now. It is Gauntlet, so you know it's not guaranteed to have it. But if you get if you see a Mercantor, you take a Mercantor, just like Holy Immolation. Alright, that's completely fine. We have the spell for that. So let's dispel. Play Lightbender. Well, you can play Eighth Master safe, so let's do it. Good thing about how damage works in this game is that even if I hit it, it's not wasted damage, because when I dispel it, it'll still have that damage, so there's no need to... Wait, let's get rid of this. And Sunblock. And you know, no range silence from oh, sorry, I'm losing my words. No range silence from Magmar means that we have no problem just playing this really far away, make sure we're out of frenzy range, and we don't have to worry about it getting dispelled over there. Alright, so Plasma Storm, that's pretty annoying, but let's get rid of one of these. I really wanted a 3-drop or something. Let's go with both of these plays. Okay, we want to play around. Doesn't really matter. We want to play around Mercantor a bit and Frenzy. This is probably the best way to do it. It doesn't really matter too much which side these are on though. You know, next turn we still have the option of a really powerful swing turn with Ironcliff, Holy Immolation, so we're still in pretty decent shape. Though, you know, I think Magmar still has lots of chances here. playing this over the two Suntide Maidens is probably better in case there's another Plasma Storm, and you know, just the heal is more important in general. Because I like to replace every turn. It's just a very strong way to go. Okay, so we set this up pretty nicely for a Ironcliff Holy Immolation play. Very, very nicely indeed. Okay, I don't feel like I need Beam Shock at the moment. Okay. Drop that in the middle. We'll come down, hit him in the face. Move this closer. Actually, let's move this here so we're not weak to Mercantile. And since he's provoked, it doesn't really matter too much. We could only have brought it here, so it didn't actually matter in regards to this hitting him next turn. Don't think, because it was here, right? So yeah. Because that's the kind of minion we're not actually very well equipped to deal with. Just a big minion that's not, you know, vulnerable to the spell. But yeah, we're basically just gonna ignore it. And we'll do the same play. Hello. And we should be in decent position here. Unless he pulls off some, you know, elucidator combo on us somehow. He's only at 6 HP, so we'll probably be able to kill him next turn, I'd say. So, what's the best way to kill him here? Let's just do it with the holy. I like to kill my opponents in a way that's the least BS, so they don't get, you know. I don't want my opponent to be like, oh no, he had another holy immolation, I can't believe it. But like with Songhai, sometimes I choose not to spiral technique my opponent because I don't think anyone likes losing like that. Though it's not actually BM, you know. It's the opposite of BM, kind of. Anyway, that will be enough for part 1. That one's gone for quite a while. We are 4-0, pretty nice start here. Though yeah, I still want to see how we do without martyrdoms, without that big single target removal. We have the 1 repulsor beast, which helps a little bit, and lots of dispel, which is good. But yeah, we will see how we can compete against, you know, other really good Lyonar decks, and also a Lyonar deck. Lyonar is very good against Lyonar, especially if they get Hailstones and Chromatic Colds. So we'll see you next time, guys, and that's it for part 1. Thanks for watching.